Now we're going to talk about a fairly odd musical, The Unauthorized Parody, with book, additional lyrics, and direction by Braden Martino, music and lyrics by Hudson Keown. And this is a parody of cartoons that, if you grew up in the 90s or early 2000s, the cartoons that you would watch. And so I have brought with me a young lady who is an expert on such matters, my daughter, Miriam Gross.
It's a pleasure to be here. This show has a lot of high points. The actors who play Cosmo and Wanda, Arthur Knox and Tess Gilmore, respectively, are excellent. Their impressions of the characters they're playing are really spot on. The same is true of Clay Webb, who plays Mr. Crocker, and I must shout out Lucas Boniface. He plays a variety of characters, but the primary character he plays throughout the show, who I will not spoil, he is so good in that role. He gets the hand motions right, he's got the voice down. Really, really excellent. As a Zillennial, as someone who grew up watching these cartoons, I have to say, there were moments when watching this show was an absolute blast. I was having so much fun. I was dancing in my seat. I was banging my head, being like, yes. But there were also moments where, not so much. And part of that was with the plot. The plot begins with Timmy trying to impress his crush, Trixie, with the new exclusive streaming service, Doug Dimmadome's Dimma Plus. Unfortunately, all they can find are live-action reboots and remakes of their favorite shows. This does not impress Trixie, and Timmy vows to make it right by heading into Dimma Plus and solving the problem. I personally think this is an excellent plot to carry the show through. However, I don't feel that the show really carries on it.
I think the problem is they are trying to get as many characters as they can.
As many references as
Danny
they can get
Phantom, Phineas and Ferb.
Scooby-Doo.
Well, yeah, I don't think they had Scooby-Doo that night. You get to choose. So some nights you'll see some nights you'll see the other.
That's one of the good things about the show is it has audience participation. So
Right.
You, the audience, get to vote on whether you want to see Scooby-Doo or Danny Phantom or
Right.
Rugrats.
Which is nice, except that in doing so, they kind of get off of the main plot, and it's really not very comprehensive. It's really not. It's more of a sideline than anything else, an excuse to bring out the characters.
The costuming, it's meant to look a certain way on purpose, but there are points where it just looks a little low effort, you know? It doesn't come across as much as being on purpose, so much as it comes across a little cheapy.
And the show can be a little crude at times.
Yes, there's definitely potty humor, crude humor that I certainly could have done without. And there is one gaping flaw in the sound design, which, no spoilers, but Perry the Platypus does appear in the show, that's all I'll say, but they do not play the Perry the Platypus noise. What's the point of having him on if he doesn't even do his most famous sound effect?
Now, this is not a show you want to bring your younger children to.
Absolutely not.
This is strictly for adults or maybe teenagers.
Older teenagers.
Right? Teenagers who are familiar with the cartoons. If you haven't seen the cartoons, you will not appreciate the show. Okay, in our 1 to 5 playbill countdown, 5 being amazing, 1 being how would you rate this show?
Honestly, I would say the show itself, 2.5 playbills. But the impressions and those epic moments where I was just like, yes, this is my childhood, those I think get an extra playbill added on. So I would say 2.5 for plot, but 3.5 for soul. I
would give the whole kit and caboodle 2 3/4 playbills.
But really, if if these are the shows of your childhood and you are very high while seeing the show,
Just what every father wants to hear.
I think you will enjoy it a lot.